Madina Mazimba, I'm back again. As is now tradition, at the beginning of each year, I share with you the projects that I'll be looking forward to the most in that specific year. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 10 projects, albums that I'll be looking forward to the most in this year of 2020. Now, as each year goes by, artists they'll be hinting about projects they're currently working on or projects that they'll be working on in the near future. Sometimes even the fans, they want to answer those artists, are you preparing something for us? Is there something for us in the works? And the artists may even respond, okay, this year, apana chiripo, but next year, definitely I have something for you. And sometimes the artists aren't always vague, but not over the year I'll be following those hints, and I'll be compiling a list of the albums that I'll be very much looking forward to if they finally get to drop. So that is the list that I'll be sharing with you today. So now looking at my list from last year, I was quite happy because a number of the projects that I was looking out for, they managed to drop. I think there was Alexio's Oi, there was Victor Kunonga's Ndacha, even Winky D. I was very much looking forward to Winky D project. So Rakabuda on the 31st, 1 January 2020. Technically the launch was on the 31st, so it was still in the year of 2019. So I was quite happy. And also Hope Masige, she also dropped a lovely album last year. Mbeu again dropped a lovely album. So I think on a number of the albums that I wanted to that I was looking forward to in the year of 2019, I have to say quite a number of them. I think about 3/4 they finally managed to drop, and I was very much happy about that. So hopefully this year, among the 10 albums and ASAPH 10 they get to drop. So not without wasting much time, let's get to those 10 albums. And also these albums are in no specific order, this and this. And also a lot of the albums I don't know the titles as of yet. And as you know, not a lot of artists want to occupy the title of the album. But honestly, that official announcement. So for these, apana part any official announcement. So most of their the titles of those albums are Santa Kumaziwa. So I'll just name them Untitled. So yes, and Untitled just means and kuti album, but I'm very much looking forward with that specific artist. Is something that they have hinted could this year Panisha Vachatipa. And for those who didn't the names, I think I'll be specifying them at the end. So let's get to those 10 albums. So the first album I'll be looking out for is Untitled by Manyowa. Now last year I was fortunate enough to be invited to the launch of the single Ndimi. You can go on YouTube and you can search for Manyowa Ndimi. It's a very lovely and powerful worship track. The visuals are definitely spot on. And on the launch she definitely stated this single it's signaling a beginning of a journey into the upcoming album. So and she hinted the album is coming this year, so I'm very much looking forward to this album. This will be Manyowa's third album. Their first two albums, King of Glory and Grateful, they performed very well. All of the albums, they had tracks that topped the charts for weeks and weeks. And those albums, they pushed her into becoming the biggest female gospel artist we have in the nation at the moment. So she's definitely on a hot streak, and I'll be looking forward to see what she's going to do on this upcoming album. And the next album is Untitled by Alick Macheso. Now Alick Macheso is sort of like making a serious comeback. He had a couple of albums whereby his sound, the quality of his music, everything's not that dark. But his last project he showed I still have the touch. Although sometimes maybe the mastering, the quality of the tracks were not really up to par as compared to his previous his classic albums. But regardless, he showed good. I still have extra bass. So he also hinted a new album is in the works, and on a lot of his shows towards the end of 2019 he was sampling those new tracks. And also looking at the cycle some albums, he releases albums after 2 years, so we are now in the second year from the previous album. So it shows everything, all the signs are showing we may have something new from Alick Macheso this year. So very much looking forward to that album. The next album is also Untitled by Jah Prayzah. Now Jah Prayzah is arguably the biggest artist in the country, the biggest artist we have in the country at the moment. And last year he decided to take a sabbatical break. He said, I'm not going to be releasing an album. I just released a couple of singles, and I think that was a good move, because in the beginning of the year I was saying Jah Prayzah, he doesn't really need to release an album this year. His album from last year was still sounding good, and the way the album in terms whenever he released a new video. So I remember saying Jah Prayzah could just finish the whole year videos for his previous album, and in a way he did sort of that. But then he released the single Sadza Nemuriwo. But regardless, it was sort of like a successful year for Jah Prayzah, because the people got to really listen to his last album. They really got to not dzika naro, because previously Jah Prayzah anga rekuti before matombonyatsopedza kuteerera album matopiwa rimwe, before mapiwa rimwe. So that break, that really gave his fans some time kuti album rinyatsodzika. And you know what, I heard the album being played quite a lot throughout the whole year, so I have to say that was a very good move. So this year it is definitely going to give us something, and I'm very sure it's going to be an album. So very much looking forward to see kuti okay, zvichatarongerwa on the whole year rese ranga kataura sabbatical break, chii chaitirongera, chii chaitibikira. And next is also Untitled by Takura. Now Takura is definitely one of the best when it comes to urban music in Zimbabwe. You know what, he just has that touch different yokuti when it's a Takura song, you definitely know, could not, this is something by Takura. And last year he had sort of quite of a low year, and I'm very much hoping this year he's definitely going to give us something. And if you look at his Twitter, you're sort of hinting that, you know, he's creating something, and you know, for Takura, is he going to give us something that is going to be better than his Relationship Goals EP, for me, which is his best project to date? That was a superb project. He gave us an album. The album was okay, but not at the level, yeah. You know, the Relationship Goals EP. So this year, I'm very much looking forward to see Takura. Where is he going to take, you know, the local urban music? Which direction he has to tend, because he's definitely one of the leaders of this new school. So I'm very much looking forward to what he has in store for us in 2020. And next up is Kingsvilla 3 by ASAPH. Now, I'm a very big fan of this Kingsvilla series, and if you're a fan of rap music, I think this is the best that there is in the nation. Just search and go and listen to Kingsvilla 1, go and listen to Kingsvilla 2. They're superb projects. You know, the storytelling on these projects is just out of this world. And you know, ASAPH into becoming the best when it comes to storytelling in the whole of the hip-hop genre. Now, again, not ASAPH last year, he delivered the People's Rapper, which for me was the best hip-hop project that we had last year. So you know what, his takes are rising each and every year, and on that album he hinted with Kingsvilla 3 is still in the works. So for those people who are like me, who are fan of you know, that sort of storytelling kind of style, we're definitely waiting for this album. Next up is Untitled by Sulumani Chimbetu. Now this album, you've been promised this album. I think we're now getting to the third year. And hopefully open someone in Sulumani's management team he has to deliver this year. He has to deliver in 2020. For me, I was nearly 100% not certain what he was going to release last year, because there was no really that big competition. The previous year, we were not okay. Alick Macheso released something, so there was going to be a lot of competition. But last year, there was no real competition for him, and he did not release for some reason. But like I said, this year, please, Chimbetu, he has to deliver something this year. For me, I'm a huge Dendera fan, and we have been starved for so long. We really need something new. So I'm very much looking forward to see what he's going to do in his next project. Is he going to remain on the political kind of route, or maybe I could revert back? But regardless, not saw some Dendera music, some Dendera goodness. So hopefully Sulu gets to release this album. Next up is also Untitled by XQ. Now for XQ, it was one of those cases there were some fans who said, XQ, are we going to get something not this year? And they said, not 2020, there's definitely a project that's coming. So not XQ is one of those guys who's if you're talking about the top young urban artists, is probably near the top. The top 3, top 2, because everything he touches these days, since he reinvented himself into Mr. Put It, everything he touches turns to gold. And last year he just released an EP which had 2 tracks, the Teddy Bear remix with Mr. Easy, then Suarez featuring Tigons, which was one of my favorite tracks of last year. He just had this vibe. The XQ is very much comfortable in this new sound, this new vibe that is found. And like I said, whether he features or what, he's killing it on each and every time. So like when he said good next year there's something coming, meaning by 2020, it got me hyped. Good to know we're definitely going to get something from Mr. Put It. Next up is also Untitled by Joyfull Praise Choir. Now this choir grew on me last year. I bumped into them on YouTube, and I started loving their videos. I started looking for more of their videos, and I was very much impressed in what they're really doing. And for a lot of years, only Jah Prayzah was the only gospel choral group in Zimbabwe. And for me, I had a number of complaints about them. They lack a lot of those not original tracks, hymns, renditions, and all the stuff. And then I bumped into Joyfull Praise, and they just do all those things, and I put Jah Prayzah. They have a lot of original tracks. And they also embrace the traditional sound that we have in Zimbabwe, which is something that I very, very much love about them. So their momentum is sort of increasing with each week, with each day, and I feel as if this year they have to keep the momentum going. So they have to give us something, whether it's a DVD or a man or something, to just keep the momentum going. And next up is Untitled by Mokoomba. Now this is my favorite band in Zimbabwe. These guys are just fantastic. I'll keep on saying it. Go and watch these guys perform live. Please, you do yourself a favor. They're just amazing. Now, I hoped this album was going to drop last year. So if you go to my 10 albums I was looking forward to in 2019, I included them because the previous year they hinted, they were working on something. They're not going to take such a long break in between releasing albums, but they did not release anything. But as the year went, they strongly hinted there is something in the works. I remember watching this, I think this is them. They performed live at KEXP and they performed 3 new tracks. And also towards the end of the year, when they came back and did their last show in Harare, the manager was also saying they were going to be playing some new tracks, they'll be sampling some new tracks. So that all shows you with the new album, I think, Ranyasoyi Vamanj. So this year, I'm very much hoping that album gets to drop. I was a big fan of Luyando. The last album they released, it's a beautiful, beautiful album. And the last album, before that, Dara 2012 Rising Tide is an amazing album. And not only Luyando, they were saying they're going the acoustic route. Now on this new album, they're leaving that acoustic route, so we can expect the explosiveness that was contained within Rising Tide. So that just made me more and more hyped about this album. So I'll be keeping a keen eye on these guys, and I'm very much looking forward to this project. And lastly, I have Untitled by Mbeu and the Mhodzi tribe. Now Mbeu is currently my favorite artist in the whole country. Yes, I said Mokoomba is my favorite band, but when it comes to artist, Mbeu is my favorite artist. Everything that is just putting out, I'm loving it. And I remember last year Pangenda Jacaranda Music Festival, Mbeu ndiye the most. There were a lot of other big artists, but for me, I was waiting for Mbeu the most, and I think it was the same for a couple of my friends because they were loving the Mhodzi Diaries, the album that he released in 2019. So I'm very much looking forward to see what is he going to prepare for us this year, because I know Mbeu is one of those guys at Paka strict like Chimbetu to cook Dara and Jah Prayzah. Each and every year he releases something. So I'm very much looking forward to this year. So he's one of the artists that I'll be looking forward to in this year of 2020. And so yeah, those are the 10 projects that I'm looking forward to. There are a lot of projects and not each and every year I'm very happy kuti they come some of the projects maybe an artist probably an upcoming one, and it just blows me away, like what Masa Caroline's Pamsore did last year. So I'll be very much looking forward to those also, but I cannot put them here because those are just like those surprise packages throughout the year. But I know a lot of you have some album that you're looking forward to in this year of 2020 as we start a new decade. So go in the comment section, tell me what's the name of the album. Just say Untitled like I did, and give us the name of the artist, and then after that come back, like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you again next time.